good at, and that's key. That's key. What do you enjoy doing, and what are you good at? Another word to summarize that up, we're figuring out what their gift is. What is their innate gift that they have? And then we start documenting interest in a career portfolio or journal. And what's the outcome we're looking for? When they leave middle school, we want a growing awareness of career options. We want initial interest areas and the ability to say, here are the fields I want to explore further. So in middle school, we're just creating interests. Okay? We're trying to help them figure out what they're good at, what they like to do, and align it with some of the career paths that fit those goals and visions that they have. Then we move on to high school. High school is where we start designing the pathway. Okay? High school is where interest becomes intention. High school is where interest becomes intention. Now we have to start moving with intention. We have to start doing what? Focuses on CTE pathway selections, choosing a program of study aligned with their interests, whether it's health science, IT, engineering. Now we're starting to align that pathway up, getting them to the right classes, getting them in front of the right teachers. Course alignment, selecting classes that support career goals. Dual credit certifications. Whenever I was coming up through school, there wasn't a lot of dual credit programs out there. Now, almost every high school has a dual credit program, has some type of partnership with some type of local college or university. All right? And they can earn their college degree hours or industry recognized credentials. So we're starting that interest and making intentional decisions towards our career path. Work-based learning. There are internships, job shadowing, apprenticeships, or practicum experiences that we want to give to them. You may have students that want to go into industries such as HVAC, plumbing, electrician. That is more of an apprenticeship program. And there are plenty of companies out there that would take on a junior or senior in high school over the summer and have them work alongside them. Okay? We got to find those opportunities for them. As a counselor, what's our role? We guide students in selecting pathways that match their strengths and goals. And this is actually very important that the high school counselors are working with the middle school counselors as much as possible, because we want to transfer that interest from middle school into intention in high school. So we ensure students understand all options, whether they need college, certification, or simply just go into the workforce, which would be an apprenticeship or internship that leads to their career goal. And then we want to monitor progress and adjust plans as interests evolve. Now understand, they're coming from middle school, and that may be an 8th grader coming into 9th grade, and they may have 3 or 4 different interests. Your job as a high school counselor or an educator is to help them sort out which one fits them the best. And it may evolve. They may start out interested in one thing and find out that it's actually something else that they're supposed to be doing. So we adjust those plans as it goes. And what's the outcome we're looking for? Well, we're looking for students to graduate with a clear pathway aligned to a career field. Clear pathway, which means they are leaving our institution with knowing exactly what they need to take in college, what certification programs they need to take, or whether they need to go to the military route. There are several different options out there for them, but no high schooler should make it to their 12th grade year and still trying to decide out of 3 or 4 different options. They should know by their senior year exactly what it is they want to do and how they want to do it. All right? Relevant skills or certifications, they should have those things. Real world experience, we should have already exposed them to the industries that they're interested in. They should have already seen it. They should have already spoken to the people. They should have already done internships or or side by side or walkthroughs with them. And a next step plan they understand and believe in. The key word is believe in. They have to believe in it. Okay? You can't just give them a plan and hope that they follow it. If they believe in it, it will get followed because it's their plan. Now, post-secondary, this is when they get to college, okay? Now, we may not have as much oversight when they get to college, but we also want to go over these options with them, okay? So the options include college and university. We're helping them get their degree, understand the degree programs, technical school, apprenticeship programs, or military. If you really think about it, these are the main four options they're going to have. Now, within those options, there's a lot of nuance, okay? There's a lot of nuance in those options. But when you graduate from high school, you're going to have four career paths that's going to give you success. You're either going to college or university, you're going to a technical school, you're joining an apprenticeship program, or you're simply going to the military. Those are the four options that we want to offer them. And within those four options, there are several nuances that they can choose from, okay? What is our counselor role post-grad? To help students evaluate options based on goals, finances, and readiness. If we know that a student is not prepared for college, we should not be pushing them to go to college. If we know that going to college will put that student in a financial or economic disadvantage, we should not be pushing them to go and put themselves in those disadvantages, okay? We also want to assure applications, financial aid, and enrollment steps are complete. We have to do our part. Whatever they need from us, we have to make sure that it's available and that we've given it to them. And what's the outcome? Students transition with direction, preparedness, and confidence in their chosen path. That is our main goal when our students leave our educational institutions. And then, of course, workplace entry. This is where all the work, this is where the purpose comes into action. Now, all the from middle school, high school to college, they're entering a career aligned with the chosen pathway, which means we have cultivated their path, their vision, and helped them find what they see themselves doing. And they now have a career that aligns with it. They're continuing education or upskilling as needed, building professional habits and network. That's what we want. That's what the focus is there. So we want to introduce that to our students before they leave us. Counselors impact long term. The work done in middle school and high school shows up here. Students enter careers with clarity, not confusion. They persist because their path is aligned with their identity. They contribute meaningfully because they are prepared. Okay? So all the work that we have done to help guide the student in their vision, in developing their vision, in helping them develop their belief system, this is where all that comes into action. And that's our long-term impact. If a great counselor will be remembered years after that student has left them. Why? Because they have done all this for that student. Now, advising that transformation, okay? So how do we advise that transformation? We move from telling to guiding. And this is the key thing. This is the key thing, okay? We listen more than we speak. So many times I walk in classrooms or I listen to fellow educators or counselors speak, and everything is about what they are suggesting to the kid, what they are telling. Everybody talks at the student. Nobody does what? Listen. We need to listen more than we speak. We need to ask questions that require thought, not word answers. We should never ask a student a yes or no answer question. It should always be what? A thoughtful answer. What else do we do? We connect student responses to real opportunities. We listen and then we take what they say and we try to connect it the best we can to a real opportunity. Then what do? We revisit and refine the plans over time. You're going to have that student, you get them in sixth grade, you're going to have them from seventh, and you're going to have them from eighth. That is 3 years for you to do what? Revisit and refine the plans. That's our job. You affirm potential while holding students accountable. We affirm their potential while holding them accountable. So once we discover what their potential is, once we help them discover what their gifts are and what their career path is, we hold them accountable to it. We hold them accountable to it, both in behavior and academics. We have to hold them accountable. See, this is not a one-time meeting, but an ongoing process of clarity, alignment, and growth. Clarity, alignment, and growth. That is what we're doing. We're not just meeting with them one time, or we shouldn't be meeting with them just one time. Now, some of the powerful questions that drive transformation. These are some of the questions. Now, you can come up with your own, but these are 4 of some of the most powerful questions that I feel that you can ask. Number 1, what kind of life do you want to build? What kind of life do you want to build? That's a real question. And you'll be surprised how many kids can't answer that. Number 2, what problems do you care about solving? Now, when you're asking that question, what problems do you care about solving? What is it? What frustrates you about the world? Who do you want to help? What change would you like to be a part of? These are deep-rooted questions that's going to cause your student to think, not about themselves, but about the world around them. Because when it comes to purpose and a calling, it usually is to help others. It is for you to be an impact to others, not an impact to yourself. I tell my students all the time, have you ever seen an apple tree eat its own fruit? Have you ever seen an orange tree eat its own fruit? No. Does that mean that its purpose is not to give fruit? Well, yeah. Okay, well, it doesn't eat its own fruit. That's the same thing when it comes to our purpose and our calling. It doesn't sustain us. It sustains somebody else. Something else sustains us, but we still operate in our purpose. Number 3, what are your strongest skills right now? What are your strongest skills right now? And go outside the box of academics. Because someone's strongest skills may have nothing to do with academics. So what are their strongest skills? What do people come to you for help with? What comes naturally to you? And where have you seen success before? These are thought-provoking questions that's going to make your student dive deep. We're not getting a yes or no answer no more. What are we doing? We're making them think about it. And number 4, what are you willing to work hard for? Sub-questions. What are you willing to struggle to go through to achieve? What motivates you to keep going when things get difficult? And what goal matters enough for you to stay consistent? That's what we're looking for. Because if we align their career pathway according to anything other than these 4 questions, they're not going to be successful. You lower the success rate. It has to align with these questions. Now, why does this matter? When students are only told what to do, they may comply, but they rarely connect. But when guided to discover answers for themselves, they engage, commit, and persist. We have to guide them to their purpose, not tell them what it is. My other strategy 3, character is career currency. I am huge on character. Why? Because skills may open doors, but characters keep them open. I know personally plenty of adults who